in W.
Yeah, I mean, he was Loon was fantastic. They've got some big guys in the paint who can go up and get lobs, and they kind of took over that third quarter with Okongwu and Collins and Trae Young coming downhill. So we were kind of going back and forth between Loon and Anthony Lamb, just deciding, do we want more spacing or more size? And both of them had great games. So it was really fun to watch them both perform at that level. And then to see Loon get rewarded with the game winner was fantastic.
Did the offense, I guess, middle of the fourth quarter on, sort of boil down to Clay go get something? And how fun is it after what he's been through, if that's what it was, that you could say that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we had 4 guys play 44 minutes or more. And so it just felt to me like in the 2 overtimes, but even down the stretch, fatigue was a factor, and we weren't generating many easy shots, and Clay just took over. So, we're going to him just with a high screen, getting him the ball, letting him go on a high screen and running off some pins, and he just made shot after shot, made play after play. He was incredible.
You guys spent a lot of the early season losing some backbreakers late. I mean, the Utah one particularly comes to mind. Lately, that trend has flipped. How important is that?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of what we talked about early in the season, was that we're going to get some games back, and Mike Dunleavy turned to me after the game and said that's payback for the Utah game, in Salt Lake. Like you usually lose a game or two like that and win a game or two like that during the course of the season. And tonight was our night to pull one out. But I think there's a reason that things are going our way right now. We're playing tougher. We're hanging in there. In general, we're doing a better job not fouling. Excuse me. We had 2 reaches on Trae Young down the stretch. I think it was the end of the first overtime. Can't remember exactly the time frame, but allowed the game to keep going. I think if we don't reach there, we probably wrap up the game or make him make a tough shot. So the fouling kind of got to us in the second half. But for the most part, during this winning streak, we're playing smarter, we're playing tougher, we're sticking together.
Steve,
go ahead, Jenny.
Looney's rebounds at the end shine, but how about what Dante does on the boards? And you don't get into that situation without that when he corralled right at the end of regulation to make that big shot. I mean, is he just everything?
Dante has really shined during this stretch, with so many injuries. We've counted on him for big minutes, and he just continues to show why he's a winning player. He's I said it the other night, but the guy won 2 NCAA championships and an NBA title, and he competes every second of every game. He makes winning plays, and his rebound down the stretch, and then the 3 that he made to tie it. That was just Dante, doing what he does.
On that Clay step back in the first overtime, was that strictly Clay ISO? Did he create an ISO? You almost never see him dribble that many times to get a shot. What was the call there, or was that just Clay improvising?
I think we were going for the last shot, right? Is that everything's blending together right now?
When he hit the shot with about 17 to go up 2.
Oh yeah. So we were going to get Clay in a pick and roll, and they did a good job switching. And at that point, it just felt like everybody was pretty tired, and so everyone just kind of flattened out, and Clay, ended up taking the shot. He got a decent look, but I think at that point when guys are just exhausted, you're just trying to outlast your opponent, and we didn't execute great down the stretch, but we hung in there, and that was the main thing.
Is there something about his shot? I know it always looks good, but it's going in now that you see. Is it just his feet are under him a little bit more?
I think it's more his emotion is under control. I think when he was struggling earlier in the season, I thought he was placing way too much importance on each shot, and he was searching for that shot constantly. I think he's been much more patient of late. And when he's patient, you'll know because he's hitting the roll man. He hit Loon and Draymond several times tonight. Then the ball comes back around to him. He just looks more relaxed, more at ease than he did earlier in the year.
Is there also a physical component to that, to him coming back, him getting more to be the old Clay? And also, you said at one point, I forget when it was, I'm going to ride with Clay. Hey, is this the guy that you were talking about, basically?
Yeah, I mean, he's done so much in his career, so you don't go away from him just because he has a bad stretch. Everybody has bad stretches. So I just think, he stayed with it. He's worked hard, on his conditioning and his strength, and he stayed with it. Like I said, from an emotional level, he's just stayed much more calm and patient, and that's paying off for him.
You guys had, I think, a 17-point lead at the start of the third. You tied heading into the fourth quarter. Just kind of what happened there to then make this game much closer?
Yeah, I didn't like the way we closed the second quarter. The ball stopped moving. We got a little stagnant. And then we came out third quarter. First possession was a turnover, and they got downhill and got a couple lob dunks, and you could feel the game shifting. I think this was their first game of the trip. I think they had some cobwebs they had to shake out in the first half. They looked heavy-legged to me, and then they found it in that third quarter. And they're an explosive team. So they got themselves going, and we fell into a little bit of a rut. But that's how a lot of these games go, especially when they're really evenly matched. And we're missing some key guys, and so there's going to be ups and downs that we're going to have to play through, and that's what I'm most proud of with the group right now. During this 5-game winning streak, is just every single game has had these moments where we've had to stick it out, and our guys have done that.
45 minutes.